Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your motivational speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give. And I have another message coming to you from me reflecting back in an old journal that I have. This is a big one that you can't really miss. It's a huge big A4 one that I found, and it's back from 2015. And if you guys have been following me over the last few days, you know that just a couple of days ago, I delivered a message all about something that I discovered in that journal from my past self. And today it's kind of like reading somebody else's journal. Kind of like you feel like, oh, is this the right thing to do? But I kind of went back into the past again, and I just was flicking through, and I came to this entry which was really profound when I started reading it. So it was back from late August in 2015. And what caught my eye was it was directed, it was like a letter to myself. And that's exactly what I want to dive into with you guys today. And it's the whole reason why today's message is, who better to give a love note than your future self? And I really want to dive into why I think that's important. I want to set a challenge for you guys, all you action takers out there. I want you to give your future self this gift. And it was really, really a beautiful experience for me to go through and read this. So this note that I wrote to myself, it was completely, just for me, it was like this therapeutic experience. And to give it context, I kind of flicked at the pages just, before and after. And it was really dramatic, the change and shift in mindset that I had. I was going through a lot of fears at that time. And back in 2015, this was when I was traveling around Europe. So I was just looking over there at the moment. I usually put where I was located at the time. I have actually no memory of writing this journal entry, and anybody who knows me knows that I have the worst memory in the world, so that's no surprise. But I have no idea where I was exactly. I'd have to trace it back. But ultimately, I was in a lot of fear at that time in my life. I was somewhere around the world, and I was trying to build a business of what I do right now. It was all pretty new at that time, really. And I was traveling with my partner at the time and trying to manage everything in my life in terms of building a business, building a brand, trying to maintain an extraordinary quality of relationship, traveling the world where we didn't have, we're just relying on an online business that was just kind of starting up. You didn't know when your next sort of pay was going to come in. It was really sporadic, and didn't know where I was going to live the next week. So I was dealing with a lot of fear at this time, and a lot of self-doubt, a lot of disbelief in myself, and writing this letter. I don't know how I came up with it, but I ended up writing a letter to myself. And for anybody who's interested in it, I will be sharing that in the next few days or so. I'll actually write it out for you guys, and you can read into it to give you an example. But ultimately, it went through this structure of, really, just like talking to yourself from your higher self, like you are an absolute best friend, talking through absolute love. And I went through this structure of, what I was proud of myself for, but I was like, hey, Ness, I'm proud of you for this, this, and this. I'm proud of this, proud of that. Went through this whole process of the things that I was proud of myself for, which is a really good starting point for somebody who's in a lot of fear and self-doubt. We tend to not be proud of ourselves at all, or not know what we could be proud of ourselves, and we're constantly beating ourselves up when we're in that fear. And once I got through a bunch of prouds for myself, I shifted into what I forgave myself for. And this is super, super powerful, particularly if you start with the concept of pride. Not in the sense of, and I was only just having this debate the other day with another friend of mine, just around, what pride is. And just to dive into that a little bit, because I find it really interesting, he was saying that his version of pride was closed-mindedness. And I kind of was like, no, I think we need to be proud of ourselves. That's a big part of my personal growth, was finding ways to be proud of myself, because I didn't know how to be proud of myself. And there's a difference between pride in terms of superiority and I'm better than you and you're lesser than, versus proud, like, so self-love, you know, being proud of who you are, being proud of the goodness, you know, being able to see the good in you and own it, you know, and so it's really great to start a process like this with a sense of pride about who you are, and give those things to yourself. Create that kind of safe container so that then you can shift into forgiveness, and not, you know, it's forgiveness from a state of, hey, I see the goodness in you. I know that your intentions are always pure, and it's not, I'm not going to focus on what you've done wrong and I need to forgive myself for that thing I did wrong and that thing I did wrong. You're putting a context of being proud of yourself for who you really are, getting to the core of it and not hyper focusing on behavior. But then once you can do the pride, everything that you're proud of yourself for, remember speaking from your higher self to your current self who might be in a bit of fear and lacking that self-belief, and talking to yourself as a coach would, who can see the beauty and see the best, you know, not get caught up on the little things that you do wrong, you know, and just beat yourself up more. We don't need anybody else, including ourselves, beating ourselves up anymore, right? So once you've done what you're proud of yourself for, what you forgive yourself for, that's really powerful, to forgive and release and let go of those things that you've been blaming yourself for or feeling guilty about or shameful about or whatever. And then I shifted into what I'm committed to helping you with. And this is where I got intentional about what would be self-love to me. How could I be committed to myself to help myself? You know, and I came up with a bunch of different things that I was committed to, you know, in terms of being my higher self. You know, they included different little things like, you know, looking after my health and getting to bed early and drinking lemon water in the morning and doing some journaling and being kind to myself and all sorts of things like that. And then after that, I got into what I want for you is, you know, and that's all about, you know, what I want for you is to, you know, remember how much you are truly loved. Remember how much value you have to give. You know, I want you to have a rich, fulfilling, extraordinary quality of life, you know, thinking about what those things are that you want for yourself. And then signing off with all of your love. And so I would absolutely, for all you guys out there, because it was super therapeutic for my past self going through that experience of just writing this letter to myself. And I saw that, not that I can actually really remember it, but I saw that in the context of my journal, like seeing the days before in a lot of fear, then having this love note to myself, and then versus where my mindset just totally shifted to the very next day and moving forward from there. It was a real turning point in that year for me. Just getting in touch with what I was proud of myself for, what I was going to forgive myself for, what I was committed to helping myself with, and what I want for myself, and giving myself self-love. Because most of us get caught up in thinking that what motivates us is pain. And yes, pain is a great motivator, but I'm telling you right now, there is nothing more sustainable in terms of your long-term results than giving yourself love and kindness. You know, just think about it in terms of, you know, when somebody expects you to do something and they criticize, judge you, all the rest of it, beat down on you, when you either don't do it or you don't do it good enough or whatever it is, how motivated and inspired are you to really do more and go over and beyond for that person? You know, at the end of the day, you don't feel good about it and it's not sustainable. But on the other hand, if somebody is super proud of you for the effort that you take, and, you know, if you don't do the best job, hey, you know, I get it. I know it's not your intent. I forgive you for that. Let's get committed. Here's how I'm committed to helping you be your best self, you know, and this is what I want for you, you know, coming from that intentionality, you know, that is what absolutely sustains our inspiration to be our highest and best selves. So I would absolutely challenge all of you amazing action takers out there to write a love letter to yourself, put it in an envelope, date it. Maybe you want to open it up a year from now, or maybe even a month from now. Whatever's going on in your life, particularly if you're in a fearful, stressed out state, this is a really therapeutic process for you to do right here, right now. But it's also amazing for your future self to open up a letter like this and be reminded of this goodness. So I would definitely encourage you to do that. So remember, address it to yourself, then talk about what are you proud of yourself for? What do you forgive yourself for? How are you committed to helping yourself right now? What are those actions that you could be getting into? What you really want for yourself, and sign off with absolute love and adoration. And like I said, I'm going to do a post about this, a written one for you guys in the next few days. So you can revisit this if you haven't taken action on this video. Hopefully that will kickstart you into a bit more action as well. And yeah, it's just a beautiful experience for me this morning to just come across that, with no intention. When I wrote it, I had no intention for my future self to read it. It was all for who I was right in that moment. But it's super beneficial to me right now to just remind myself of that, and also see how far you've come, when you revisit something like that. So I'm going to check in with you guys and see who's been able to join me. Make sure that you drop any questions or comments or feedback or all of the rest of it. If you want to just say hi, I'd love to engage with you and say hi too. So definitely do that right now so I can jump into the chat room and check it out. But before I do that, as always, just want to make sure that I'm getting every single one of you extraordinary human beings out there into the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. Extraordinary, beautiful like minds who are absolutely striving for the next level of their potential, and they want to support, encourage, and challenge you to do the same. It's all about growth and contribution, that group. And if that speaks to you, definitely click on the link above, request to join, and I shall definitely approve you into that community so that we can go much deeper into the stuff that actually matters. So, bit of a different one today, but I want to check in with you guys, and I've got Sam and Gabrielle and Jared and Caroline and Aaron and Justin and Mandy. Hello, Gabrielle. Awesome to see you as always. And Elliot's here, and Michael and Chico and Razzie and Jamie. Awesome to see you. And Martin and Elliot, thank you for your guidance. You are super welcome, and thank you so much for showing up and letting me know that anything is valuable. I so appreciate that. And Mike and Ricardo and Nas, I'm definitely well, Nas, and hope you are as well. And Samir and Paul and Jolene and Marlon and Stephen and Rams here. Awesome. And Kim from North Carolina. I love it. Good to see you. And Gabrielle, during this time, seeds were being planted for your growth. Absolutely. And I enjoyed reaping the rewards of those definitely today. And Maria and Lizzie and Sam, I'm loving that this is resonating with you. And Annika and Ram. The prerequisite for how others treat us is how we treat ourselves. When love is within, only then it can be shared outside. Yeah, and so part of, yeah, definitely, I really do believe that, we train others how to treat us. And that all stems from seeing how we treat ourselves. If we treat ourselves with love, respect, and honor, it's kind of this unspoken expectation. That's just how you treat Vanessa, or that's just how you treat you, and expect nothing less. If you expect goodness and love from yourself, then you kind of walk around with this energy of giving that to others, and also, inspiring others to treat you in the same way. So absolutely, I love that, Ram. And Lisa's here, and much love to you, Justin and Ricardo. I have planted, but many times I lose the belief that later I will reap fruits. Yeah, so, you've got to definitely, not get so hyper-focused on the future, like, oh, but I'm going to do this work and maybe I won't even get the benefit of it, you've got to stay in the present. Do what your current self needs you to do, how you need to be operating, what's best for you, what's healthiest for you right here, right now. And definitely this is a process that you don't have to like think about, well, am I going to get any benefit from it if I do this work? Just set it for yourself and forget about it, you know. Maybe put it in the calendar, or maybe if you have a big journal, like put it in like a month from now in the journal slots there, and you'll be reminded of it because you open your journal to that day. You know, do whatever you got to do to not have to focus on projecting negativity into our future, which doesn't even exist. Be here right now. And if it's valuable to you right now and it's coming from your heart and your authenticity, guaranteed it's going to be valuable for your future self. So, and definitely, Ricardo, sometimes we need to have some sort of process that allows us to build that self-belief and move forward from that point. So if that's something that interests you and you want me to talk more into different ways that we could be building that and generating that self-belief on a daily basis, then I'll definitely be open to talking more into that for you. So let me know. And Rosa, thank you for sharing. We'll check out my page. Would love your feedback. Awesome. I'll definitely do that for you, Rosa. Thanks for being here. And Tony's here, and Ange. You're so welcome. I'm loving that you're loving today's idea. And Ricardo, I've planned a bit many times. I lose belief that later reap the fruits. Yep, I give a lot to those around me and often without recognition, and it makes me sad. Okay, so Ricardo, big one for you, because a lot of people are in your boat, myself in the past included. But honestly, you know, like I just said earlier, we have to train others how to treat us. If you need recognition, that is we all need some sort of recognition. First of all, I would say you need to give it to yourself. So going through a process like this, which starts with what are you proud of yourself for, giving yourself recognition, it would be so beneficial for you to go through now. But we have to ask for what we need in our relationships. We cannot expect people to know that we need recognition. We need love shown in this way. We need this or we need that. And if we're feeling sad and we're not getting what we need, and we feel like we're always giving to others, but we're not getting anything in return, I would get you to empower yourself by, instead of looking at what people aren't giving to you, I'd ask yourself, well, have you asked for it? Have you actually got clear on what your needs are, and have you expressed them and communicated them? And if you haven't, you know, stop expecting other people to be mind readers and ask for what you need. It is a beautiful, loving act. And it definitely, you know, when you don't do that, you are doing your relationships a disservice, because you're going to get to a point of resentment, you know, where you're feeling like you're giving and nobody's giving to you. But you have to take responsibility for that and ask yourself, have I got clear? Have I communicated? Have I asked lovingly and kindly? Have I shown them, you know, what could move the needle of our relationship forward, you know, by communicating what that is from my perspective, how it could be even better, you know? So we have to take that back. And Ricardo, I can absolutely tell that you have such a pure, beautiful heart of gold, and I have no doubt that you are tirelessly giving to others, but you can only give to a certain degree. Like when you're not giving yourself and fulfilling those needs for yourself of recognition, and also helping others who you love and want to build connection with support you better in those needs as well, then you only have so much to give before it's really giving to get, and then you get resentful. So definitely get clear on that. I would really encourage you to go through this love letter process, give yourself that recognition, fill your tank back up, then get clear on what your needs are and what it would look like for others in your life to really fill that up for you and give you some of that recognition, you know, and then ask for it in a loving, kind way that doesn't make another person wrong, but you're super focused on building a higher quality of extraordinary relationship with that person, communicated about it in that way with that intention. Hope that was helpful to you, Ricardo. And Steve, I've been betrayed by my ex. You are motivating me in so many ways. Thank you for your inspiration. Oh, Steve, thank you so much. And I'm super sorry to hear that you have had an experience of betrayal with another human being. That is no beautiful place to be in the moment. But I really, really do hope that you make the most of writing this love letter to yourself. I think it'd be really beneficial. And also go to a state of empowerment. If you are feeling really held back by that, then I would love to hear from you if I could support you better in that, because I know many of us struggle to leave things like that behind, and it's so limiting to the soul. But I am so grateful to know that you've been getting value from these messages. So thank you so much for letting me know, Steve, and so much love for you. Thanks for showing up and being here. And I've got Sam, always get so much listening to you. Oh, I love that, Sam. Thank you so much. You light up my day daily. I so appreciate hearing from you guys. When anything is at all valuable, it absolutely juices me. It's why I do what I do, in the hope that I'm adding some value. So super, super thankful to you, Sam. Thank you. And Mandy's here. Good day to you. And Charlie, wow, I feel that abundance that you do share. Oh, thank you, Charlie. I'm loving that. Loving that that's what you're picking up. And Alan from Adelaide, awesome to have you. And Gary and Yvonne and Zaizu and Fuad from Morocco. I love it. And Shane's here. And Gary, hello. And ML, you are awesome. Keep going. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And thank you, Gary. I'm super, super grateful that you're finding this inspiring. And Wayne's here, and Ning, and Desmond, and Judy. Awesome. And Shane. Hi, Vanessa. Been a while. Yes, it has been. Looking great, and great to catch up again. Appreciate you. And Happy New Year. Best wishes. Take care and have an awesome day. Thank you so much, Shane. Yes, I've been missing you popping up, but I get the times might be all over the place. I know that you are usually working, but I super appreciate you being back, Shane. Thank you for being here and for your beautifully kind words. And I've got Nikki and Bradley and Ram. You should be your priority number one, to be there for others. Absolutely. It's a whole, analogy that we've heard time and time again. You've got to put on your face mask first, before you can help others. That whole story that we get every time we get on a plane. And Med's here, and Ricardo, you're so, so welcome. I'm grateful that was valuable to you. And Beck's here, awesome. And Frank, this was very good coaching for me. And friend, thank you so much, Frank. I am super, super grateful that this was of value to you. And Ram, writing love letter to self is an excellent practice. Can there be a better way to send messages to our own subconscious mind? Absolutely. Go on that journey. Have a conversation with yourself. It is such a great strategy of realignment when you just write to yourself. It's like having a dialogue between your fearful self and your higher loving self, and it is super, super powerful. So really, really encourage you to do that. For you, it's really therapeutic for you as you are right now, and definitely put it in an envelope and put a date on it. Set a reminder for yourself somewhere where you will reopen that in a month from now, in a year from now, whenever, but guaranteed it will be super valuable, and it's such a great gift that you can give your future self. And Charlie, keep your health better and better you. Okay, yes, absolutely. Thanks for being here, Charlie. And Rondi's just joined. I hope you catch the recording, Rondi, and get a ton of value from today's message. I'm absolutely, as always, sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's as brilliant and amazing and beautiful as it is here in beautiful sunny Melbourne. And definitely give yourself that gift. And I would love to hear from you. If you're an action taker, you're ready to give yourself the gift of the love letter process. Remember, address it to yourself. What are you proud of yourself for? What do you forgive yourself for? What are you committed to helping yourself with? And what you really want for yourself? And sign off with all of your love like I am now. Much love to you guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow.